got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take...
What's up, everybody? I'd like to welcome all the humanoids of YouTube back to the Iceberg Lounge. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to have a real good show today. We're going to be talking about aliens. We're going to be talking about the extraterrestrials that may be among us already. Now, there's going to be some recent developments that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that, I wanted to go ahead and bring in my co-host, Mr. Geeks. And I just have a question for you, man. Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, mainly because it's entertaining and fun, but like out of everything out there, it seems the most logical that it's real, you know? Like if all the pop culture stuff that we're into, you know, like say mutants or say Bigfoot or say whatever you want to pick, alien seems like the most logical thing. And we can literally look into the sky and see like a little bit out there and just imagine what it's like. So
For sure. Welcome, Unruly Simeon. Welcome to the chat. How you doing, Javi? Comic Books NYC. He's saying humanoid. I'm just a big bag of bones with too much stuffing. Ain't that the truth, man?
yeah, I'm there with you.
We're just a couple of meat bags trying to make it through this world, man. My ex-wife was a vampire squid. Not sure what planet she hailed from. We want to know, Unruly, what kind of ship did she kill him on? So was it a flying saucer or one of them weird motherships, man?
Yeah,
So,
what do you think? Do you believe in it?
man, obviously, like I believe that, you know, I think it's a little maybe self-centered or egotistical for us as human beings to believe that this entire universe was built just for us. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
just for
agree.
this one little planet.
That's what I think. Like, there's so much space out there, and like the way that they explain, like we're a grain of sand in a vast desert. Like, it would be crazy not to think that there's something. I mean, who knows if it's. I would lean towards there has to be intelligent life out there, but definitely there's plants and microorganisms of some kind.
And I kind of like what Hobby's making here. He's saying the math is too great.
Yeah,
They have done the numbers of just based on probability. There are a lot of planets that are residing right within the little Goldilocks zone, that perfect spot between a star and
yeah,
the outer side of the solar system to where conditions can be stable enough for a life to live on.
yeah.
Now,
I think that even at a 0.00001 chance, like at the smallest chance that there could be, like that there is,
and I like to say, like, with the whole thing with these, I don't know, I just feel like it's the math is just there. You know what I mean? Like and the Goldilocks zone, it exists on all of it. And not I'm just not a very good smart person, man. But I know that when I was doing in like chemistry, right, carbon was like the one thing that allowed us to exist because essentially all life forms are carbon. There's
yeah,
just so many combinations. But there is another one on the board periodic table, silicon. So there is a possibility that that even increases the chances of something not even being carbon based. It might be silicon based or whatever. It's just
yeah,
interesting thing to think that, and I feel like a lot of times with us, I don't know if ethnocentricity is the right word to use when it comes to like species, but there's a lot of times where you hear people say like, "Oh, aliens can't be real. They can't travel space because we haven't figured it out." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like thinking like, okay, we haven't figured out how to bend time and space, so that must mean nobody else could.
Well, and I think it would be closed-minded to think that it would be exactly like us. Like it might not need any of the stuff we need. It could be completely different. Like it, uh, that's what's cool about it. Like just imagining everything, like the possibilities.
Yeah. So, and there's been like, a rampant amount of, UFO activity or UFO people thinking that's, and I don't think it's kind of a coincidence that it's being done as we approach the atomic age,
Yeah,
right? Because we're approaching the atomic age. Once we go past the atomic age, we use those nukes. There's no coming back. So I feel like there's kind of, I feel like they're watching us. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
feel like they may have like left before, like at some kind of experiment, and then they come back and like, here we are. So we want to talk about like today. We are going to be specifically talking about the interview that was done by one of the intelligence officials. Oh shit, my light went out. And this was like pretty recent. So I'm going to be playing a little bit from his interview, and then we're gonna like see what you guys think.
Technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin, vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No. When you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or
Shit,
not,
dead
as
pilots.
fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
What do you think about that, man?
I mean, like it's cool because it's coming from like somebody of merit. Like if anybody's going to know anything, it'd be somebody like a high official Air Force person. Like he said he worked. Oh gosh, like he worked pretty close to all this stuff, and he says he has friends. Like the whole interview, it goes crazy. Like he says, like it might not even be from another planet. It could be from a different dimension. Like,
Yep.
but I mean, like
So
if you're gonna hear it from anybody, it's like this is the guy you want to hear it from. Like instead of like some, because there was recently a family that called 911 in Vegas, and I feel like the majority of the people that say this kind of stuff are unreliable. So it's
right.
cool to hear it from somebody
So
like
this
this.
isn't like some, you know, weirdo off the YouTubes, like us that's just saying this. This is a guy that's been vetted. He was, and I'm looking at here, he was Air Force guy. He was
Yeah,
pretty much, he was an officer in the Air Force.
yeah.
He was a
14
former
years, I think.
intelligence officer. Yeah. He's got a tour in Afghanistan, right? And then he worked with the U.S. Federal Spacecraft Administration. He's part of a UAP task force, which is the government name that they're given to UFOs now.
Yeah, which
He
is
was
which
part of
is
that task force.
crazy that he's willing to put his whole career on jeopardy to come out and say that. Unless he's, I don't know. It's hard to say like what his motives are, but like he's 6 years away from a full retirement. So it's crazy to like throw all that away for this.
And what he's saying is, it like the guy that was interviewing him. It wasn't like this isn't Infowars. You know what I mean? Like this is a legitimate uh, press media, right, doing this stuff. And we've seen some of the reasons he's saying that there's this task force is because we're trying to reverse engineer the technology. And he's saying that that's the reason why it's being kept a secret for so long because they don't want our adversaries, Russia or China, to get uh, have this kind of technology in their hands if they're able to do it. Because some of the stuff that he's describing, he says is it's different at a subatomic level. Like he's saying that there's like no elements on Earth or ways to create this. So he's saying it could be from a different dimension as well. Like like dude, like this is crazy. Like
Yeah, or even
I
like some of the elements that they have that they can produce on Earth. It's like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's not like anybody can just do that, sprinkle it on the ground, and let these people find it. So I mean, just the money, it doesn't make sense. And that's kind
what
of what
he is,
like a lot of people has been saying in the past. Like, are you familiar with Bob Lazar?
mm-mm.
Well, he worked kind of adjacent to Area 51, but in Area 51, and
Yeah,
he worked in Los Alamos Labs in I think New Mexico. But he was saying like, gosh, like 30 years ago that they found like spacecrafts, and he thought he saw uh, dead bodies, but he wasn't for sure, and they were trying to back engineer all this stuff.
yep.
It's all the same stuff like this guy's saying, and a lot of it lines up.
Even if you go back like to the Roswell event, I know that one of the men that worked on there, there's a documentary out on him, that he was a good soldier, right? He did his job. He wasn't, running his mouth, but they were able to locate like a diary that he was keeping. What he described was the Roswell crash,
Yeah,
and some of the stuff that he was describing at the time. Uh, if you look at it now, like, hey, he's describing fiber optics,
yeah,
which didn't come out till 40 years later. So I guess it's going back to that question. Are they keeping this a secret? Is there like a secret Cold War going on, you know, between the countries? And why are they putting it out now? You know what I mean? Like they're just literally the government last year admitted, hey, there's such thing as UFO. And I know
yeah,
you sent me some information. It was like a 4 hour press conference where they were literally talking about putting together an investigative team for
yeah. And
UAPs and UFOs.
that was NASA that did that. I
Yes.
mean, they did that. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's not the crazy farmer that's seeing something. It's like NASA and Air Force pilots and the government. Like in 2017, they uh, confirmed all that. And back to the Roswell thing, uh, the the day after the Roswell happened, they wrote in the paper saying like we've recovered a UFO, and then the military went and then they staged photos and then they said it was actually a weather balloon, and then
Yep.
all of that is like confirmed that like they confirmed that yeah we staged the photos but they had another excuse, and there was a um, oh geez like a government agency called Project Blue Book where
Yes.
their whole job was to make people sound crazy, and
Yeah,
then
to debunk it.
yeah
Yep.
the guy that ran Project Blue Book after it was all said and done, and he was like, he was done with all that. He was like, no, I feel like there was something actually there, so it's crazy.
Yes. And so with this guy, right? Um, Another recent thing that we've had was been the Tic Tac incident, what they call it. So this is video captured by sophisticated, fighter jets and sophisticated Navy. And I'm gonna play it right now so we can take a look at that. Let's see, I think this one might be the longer one.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
I mean, from here you can kind of look at it, and this is what they call the Tic Tac. It was, I think, in 2017. Yeah, 2017, as it says here. The vehicle was moving like in ways that no modern military vehicle can move. It was
Yeah,
stopping the dime. There was no sign of propulsion. Like there's no, it would move so quickly, and there was also no sonic boom as well.
yeah. And
So
in the other video, this image, it turns on its side, and like so, like it looks like it's flying flat, and then it turns on its side like this. And then I think he said I think that was Commander David Fravor.
Mhm.
He said it just disappeared, it just was gone. And it was like
Yes.
he was uh, he was following it, and then there was somebody above him, and same thing happened.
So when they do these briefings with these pilots, I guess they were doing, well, this is a super secret, point that we're going to meet at, right?
Yeah,
And what happened was the object disappeared and then it reappeared at that point, right?
yeah,
That nobody was supposed to know except whoever was in the briefing of the mission and stuff like that. So that in itself kind of indicates that it was have displaying some kind of intelligence, man. Well, let me take a break and say what's up to the chat. Comic Cap Collectibles, what's up, brother? Welcome, Kenneth Bird. What's going on, brother? So let me play this other one, and we'll see if we can see it
Dude,
from
there's
inside.
a on, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude.
It's tilting. Oh, you see it. You can see it
yeah,
tilt a little bit
yeah,
in a way that aircraft that we make at least can't. At least not at that speed.
There's look at that thing. It's rotating.
So this was taken by fighter pilots, right?
yeah.
And you can definitely see that it's there. Um, this was originally leaked, but now it's been declassified as well. So um, one of the things that he also brought up that I thought was freaky was the fact that he says, so before I kept going, I guess I have to establish that David Grusch, what he's saying is he's never actually seen the ships and he's
Yeah.
never actually seen the bodies, but he doesn't know where they keep them, or I think he didn't want to disclose where they keep them at, but he's seen the paperwork and he's talked to people who have interacted with these things. Um, One thing he did say is that they have recovered bodies, they have recovered pilots, right? So I'm thinking like, an alien, that statue dude that looks like an elephant. Like, are we recovering these pilots? But what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, this is where it gets hard to believe, because I want to believe it so bad.
Mhm.
If they're actually aliens coming to Earth, I 100% believe that they're out there, you know, and it's just hard to believe this part. And there's Commander David Fravor.
Mhm.
This was off the coast of California when they were doing drills. He said when they came back and they told everybody about it, that everybody was pretty much giving them shit.
Yeah.
So all the movies that were playing on the ship for the next week was Men in Black and Aliens, and just it makes people not want to come forward because they look insane.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if it even doesn't matter what it is. You can't it's just something that you can't say without looking crazy. And that's why
Yeah.
NASA came out and said that they're trying to uh, destigmatize all this, so everybody can feel comfortable. Because they say a lot of the people that see these are pilots, just commercial pilots or Air Force pilots or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So one of the things he was saying is that, according to documents, classified documents, the first UFO was actually retrieved in Italy back,
Yeah.
In the 30s, I believe, by Mussolini and stuff. And that was actually turned over to the Vatican. And then the Vatican turned it over to us. So that would mean that the Vatican knows that there's, aliens out there and stuff.
Do
Which
you
would,
think that if it was confirmed there was aliens tomorrow, that everybody would lose their shit?
So here's the problem that I feel like. I feel like all this information that's coming out with this guy, the 4 hour NASA thing that was going on, and
Yeah.
a lot of the things that are going on, I feel like it should be a bigger deal than it is. Like
Yeah.
nobody's really, everybody's talking about the submarine and the orcas, but
Yeah.
I feel like this should be like a kind of a huge deal. And I think a lot of it has to be with like the way we consume information nowadays. Like I feel like, you know, or we always kind of move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I agree.
uh, it's sometimes kind of sitting down and thinking too much. Like for me, I find myself kind of difficult to focus on like longer videos, longer strands of information, whereas opposed to where I consume kind of media. So I feel like it's kind of glossed over, like it's kind of getting lost in the sea of information as well.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
and I think with these, I think if people find out that aliens were real, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that first contact could possibly happen within our lifetime.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think there would be, uh, honestly, I don't know how people would react. I feel like there'd be a lot of fear, a lot of anger, but mostly a lot of memes because I feel like we don't take anything seriously anymore.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Um,
I watched this with my family, and I 100% felt the same way. Like they're so dismissive. If it's not something they're consuming right at the moment, then they're not interested in any
yes,
of
and
this.
so, however, there's like the evidence is mounting, and we like to kind of entertain these things. Like, why not? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you can be so sure. I feel like you can't be too sure either way. I feel like you can't be like 100%. Oh, they're out there. You know what I mean? 100%. I mean, you can believe it, but you also can't be like 100%. Oh, there's nothing out there. You know what I mean? It's kind of until the proof is there, you kind of use your own judgment to decide which side you want to fall into. Another thing that he brought up that I thought was kind of interesting was that he says that there has been aggression from
Yeah.
these extraterrestrial crafts. I'm like, holy shit, dude. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Like that was like the first time I've ever heard somebody say that. Um, I like. I wonder if there's so many videos out now with people's phones, and they're feeling like obligated to say something, and
Yeah,
they can like push any agenda that they want. They could say that they're hostile, just so we're automatically against them too. Uh, it's it's one of those things like my girlfriend. We were going to Cancun,
yeah.
and she swears she saw something flying, outside the plane, and she said it did exactly what this did. Like uh, it was flying, it went to its side, and then it disappeared. And I know she wouldn't lie about it, but
Hmm.
it's hard for me to believe 100%. You know, like I believe her that she saw something, but like anything else, like I feel like I need to see for myself.
And I agree with you. And I think a lot of it though, it's like there's a lot of coincidences, like we're not even going to get into like the ancient aliens and their geometry and astronomy of ancient civilizations and stuff. But what are some of the theories? If you do think there are aliens are here, uh, what are some of your theories on why they're here?
I don't know. I would suppose it'd be like to study, right? To to see to study like just us in general, or to you know take elements from Earth that they need. I have no idea. It's a part of this is just fun for me to like imagine, like
Right.
just to think about all this stuff because it's so much fun. Like and but yeah, I have no idea. I would imagine that it's to study though. Like that's where I would go.
And I agree with you. Also think that they probably have like a scientific interest in our species. I feel like they may not have the same boundaries that our species have. I mean, if they have unlocked, space or dimensional travel, there's no reason why. you can't assume that they've unlocked, like the medical problems either. So
So
they may be living way longer than us, so they can conduct longer term experiments, in my opinion.
yeah. So have you been into this kind of stuff for a long time?
So I've dabbled in it, like I've always loved space. I've always, you know, wondered, and I've always liked sci-fi stuff, pop culture stuff.
Yeah,
Um, and I've always enjoyed it.
yeah. I mean, that's the same for me. Like just being a kid, and
Yeah,
we lived in a pretty small town, so like there was a lot less light pollution,
yeah,
and you could go out and you could see like meteor showers, and you could see shooting stars. I remember me and my friends were camping on the trampoline one time,
yeah.
and we saw like this huge green meteor go across the sky. And then like movies like Flight of the Navigator or oh geez, I mean Predator and Aliens, like really any of it, because who knows like what it is, or even like cartoons like Futurama. Just it's all somewhat plausible to me because it's so open, like because
Yeah.
nobody knows.
And I think to kind of like say on what I think, do you think that the government actually uh why do you think they have, if they do have aliens, why do they think that it's becoming a little bit more, out there to be talking about it?
Oh, I would imagine just because like they can't control the amount of information that gets out now, like with everybody having smartphones and the internet, and so maybe they feel obligated to say something. Like if they don't say it, then we might be really against them. Like if we find out that they were lying to everybody. Um, yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know.
I think one of my theories is, um I just think, and this is all coincidence, right? This is where we put on our little aluminum foil. Hold on. Let me put on my aluminum foil hat for this one.
Yeah, I still got mine on.
All right. All right, guys. So this is what I think the government is actually doing. All right. I like to think of, hold on, let me take this down. I like to think that they're actually going into, like, I think it's not a coincidence that they've literally, the shuttle program has literally gone defunct. Like, they're not really investing money into NASA anymore. We're not trying to go to the moon anymore. And I just feel like we might be on the verge of a breakthrough, because I feel like if they do have these things, they might be on the verge of making a breakthrough with the technology. Or they could also, or if maybe they're close enough to where they're ready to get help from the private and the public sector, because I feel like that's what's, what I mean? Like, the government itself can't, maybe they can't do it. They're closing all their avenues. Or they might be on the thing where either Russia or China might be on the verge of a breakthrough as well. I don't know. It just seems a little weird that all these things are starting to, come out, and they're starting to get a little bit quicker and quicker as they come out.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, according to David Grusch, like he said, like Italy had one, and uh, Bob Lazar has kind of said the same thing. Like, uh, I think France has a pretty big like UFO, you know, research division thing or whatever, and so does Russia, and so does China, and they're all racing to the same thing. Um, and it is crazy, like we just within 100 years, like how far technologically, uh, we've advanced.
yes, we've advanced more in the last 50 years than we've advanced our entire time being here on planet Earth.
Yeah,
And so that's just kind of weird that as soon as the atomic age hit, which is also coincidentally around the time where
yeah, the first
UFOs became more
UFOs.
prominent, technology just started speeding up, right? And the government always has better technology that's not used. Like, they had the internet locked up for, many years before it became like a public thing. Like it was something that the government was developing, was the internet. Before, back then the internet was like Skynet, you know what I mean? It was science fiction. What a lot of people don't understand is like when that movie Terminator came out, Skynet, there was no internet back then, you know what I mean? And the internet didn't really come out to the 90s. So it's kind of weird that a lot of the science fiction things that we see in pop culture and stuff like that, a lot of those things are slowly starting to become reality, as we take closer steps to like virtual reality and stuff.
It's just like
Um,
that Snowden guy, like he was a whistleblower for, um, saying all that shit. Like the government can hack into your phones and like open your camera and they can spy on anybody. Like so they're definitely like keeping secrets, and some of it like makes sense to keep secrets. Like even like the UFOs, like it would make sense for them to keep it quiet until they realize what's going on. But I like if there was a tipping point, like I would feel like it's about there, like where something is going to come out.
yeah. So that's kind of exciting to see that first contact could literally happen within our lifetime. So if it does happen. Um, so yeah. Any other topics you wanted to talk about this before we go on to the show and tell portion of the show?
Yeah, I didn't lay a lot of stuff out because, like I told you, like I was running pretty busy at the very very end.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, start showing it because like the pop culture part is half of the reason that like I'm so invested into space.
Okay. So let me pay some bills here. We're going to be presenting our this week's sponsor. Um, let me look these guys up. So yeah, anybody guys watching, check out. These are going to be our week sponsors. They're going to be paying our bills this week. So you guys make sure to.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Oh man, we are not alone.
Imagine that being first contact.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like that would be the real exciting part. Like besides like it all being true, would be to see what they look like. I got my fingers crossed for the girl from Total Recall. So
Yeah, me too, bro.
yeah.
So yeah, let's go get into like some of the pop culture stuff. We're gonna be showing some of our items in our collection, and if you want to, and that kind of leads into it, like, hey, what do these aliens look like? And can show you guys like some examples from pop culture of what people imagine aliens would look like and how they would behave. And there's like a wide variety. So did you want to go first, or did you want me to?
Yeah, you go for it because I only have one thing to kind of show off because I was running late. So
Oh, okay. So obviously the first one, I think it's the most obvious one, is let me blow this bad boy up. There's this aliens #1. So this is the first appearance of the aliens in the comic book. I think that this is one of those sci-fi movies that was just way ahead of its time. And as I grew older, I just kind of liked the movie more and more. It's one of those movies that ages very well because it has so many great practical effects. I wish more movies would do practical effects. This is the first print. If you guys are curious as to how to find out if it is a first print, usually on the inside at the bottom where it says like the copyright year and all that, it'll say second or third print and stuff like that. And If it doesn't say anything, then that's how you know that it's a first print. So this is Mark Nelson cover, and I know that you and we got to meet Mark Nelson. He was
Oh
sitting
yeah,
next to James O'Barr. Him and James O'Barr seem to be buddies and stuff.
I got a
So,
killer sketch from Mark Nelson. Man, I love it.
yeah, dude, I'm like so jealous of that one, to be honest. I like that. He really killed it on that one.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show like one of my favorite Funkos in the collection, and that's this little whoa little xenomorph. And this is the one with the green splatter on him. Got this one at C2E2. Uh, I don't know, it looks really cool. So that's like one way, right? Aliens could be like a parasite that are looking for host bodies, right? That'd probably be like worst case scenario for us.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm thinking. Like that's that leans into my nightmare scenario. You know, like did you grow up watching Aliens when you were a kid? Because like I came to that later on. You know, like because it was too much for me. Like whenever I was little, so I think I was like 14 or something whenever I finally watched it.
I think we watched. I think a lot of it I watched on. You know how back then a movie would come out in theaters, and then later on they would have like an edited version on TV, and I think that's what I used to watch, like the edited versions of like RoboCop, Predator, and all this stuff that came out. So it was pretty cool.
I'm sure that's what I did too. Like, but I even then like just the Alien in general is like terrifying. Like that version, I could watch Predator at a young age because it to me like it wasn't as scary, you know. But like the aliens were just there to kill, you know. So
yeah, like that's it. That's all they do, man. And they're smart, bros. They're like super predatory and shit. And like Predator, on the other hand, you felt like, hey, if Arnold survived, you know, you might have a chance. But like,
well,
you know,
and
Ripley,
like he was a hunter, you know. Like it was completely different. Like the premise was different. Like you know, I felt like he just like he wasn't trying to fuck with the weak. He wanted Arnold, you know. He wanted those mercenaries.
So I think Carl Weathers was in Motor City Comic Con. He had a really long line, but I wish I could have just like, if he had a shorter line, I would have definitely tried to meet him. But you know, I'd imagine him meeting Carl Weathers. I just walk up to him and be like, "You son of a bitch!" Yeah, like that would be fucking awesome.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, Predator's another one of my favorites. Like that's just they don't make movies like that anymore. Like that movie's got like so much testosterone just dripping off of it. Like the whole thing.
The new one that they made, The Prey, was killer. I loved that movie. Absolutely loved that.
Yeah, I think the actress Amber Midthunder, who's an actual Native American, I think that movie was great, dude. And I think they messed up by not releasing that in the theaters. They probably thought, oh, this movie's gonna be shitty, but no, it was actually really good. And I think what I really liked it is that the guy was not CGI, like the actual Predator. It was actually like a really tall basketball dude wearing a suit. So I feel like that really helps.
That's been all the Predators, right? They've all been suits, right? I think so.
Yeah,
like,
but you know how like
I think that's why it translates so well, like because it's all practical effects like that.
And I think it just as good as CGI gets, I still think practical suits or practical effects, they still can't replicate that. You know what I mean? Like you can still tell CGI no matter how good it is. You know what I mean?
The family's watching Tremors, you know, like 1 through 7.
Yeah.
And at one point they were doing practical effects, and then they went to like CGI, and it just looked like dog shit. And then like 3 movies in, like on the 4th one or something, after the first one, they went back to like more of a practical effect, and it was like it's a night and day difference.
So since we're on the topic of that, just wanted to show I'm gonna blow this bitch out. This is the new Predator from the movie Prey. This is done in ballpoint ink and by an artist on Instagram named Mandy War Art. I believe he's based out of Cuba. And when I saw this, dude, I was just like scrolling, and I saw this. I was like, man, that is freaking amazing. So I DM'd him and asked him if it was for sale. And sure enough, man, it was for sale. I was like, I never heard of this guy. He says he's out of Cuba. might get scammed. I don't know. Totally worth it. Um, so luckily I wasn't. But yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces in my collection. The Predator. I love that they use the coyote, skull on there. Uh, one of the best, I think, movies of last year, if not my favorite movie from last year. I hope that we get a sequel for that.
Honestly, that's
Or
probably one of my favorite Predator movies of all time. I'll show
yeah, I would
mine
say
though.
so.
'Cause I have mine on the wall, and you gifted me this, but it's same guy, but man, I love that. It's this is called the Pharaoh Predator, right?
Feral, yeah, Feral Predator.
Man, that is so
Yeah, that looks
killer.
so good, man. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
With
that
the
guy's a
side portrait.
killer artist. I love that.
Yeah,
But
it's a
yeah,
beast.
definitely a cool way to show a new version of the Predator.
Like it's so imaginative and creative, you know what I mean? They
Yeah,
did something different, but still like it maintained the elements of what made the Predator cool.
yeah, I think that's the cool thing about like aliens in general is you can go any way uh, with it, and nobody can argue with you. But yeah, that Predator movie, I think it will get a sequel.
Yeah. And that will show this. This is the anybody wondering what the first appearance of is, it's this one. Again, second and third prints look exactly the same. So you got to check on the inside. And right at the bottom where it says, the publishing information, we'll say second or third print or whatever, because they look exactly the same on the outside. So, yeah, man, this is pretty cool. If it's first print, it won't say anything.
What do
This
you
is a
think?
killer cover.
What do you
What's
think
that?
about them doing that? Are you a fan of second prints and third prints using the same cover and just changing like the print in the inside, saying or would you rather have an alternate cover?
Um, I think for those, I think either way, but I don't mind it too much. If they
Yeah,
use the same cover art and stuff like that, I think it's cool. I think
yeah,
when they try to make something different, like I know DC does with second and third prints, all they do is change the background to like red, and
yeah,
it's sometimes it's kind of jarring, you know what I
yeah.
mean? But I kind of like it when they use the same stuff, you know what I mean? It kind of makes it even more fun to hunt, because you're digging through it and you're like, oh shit, this first print, hell yeah.
Yeah, I know this is off topic, but I'm a fan of like something more online to that, or just one print in general. No variant covers, no nothing. Just put the book out and then that's it. But if they were
Yeah,
going to do it, it was kind of cool. It's the same one, kind of like Turtles. Turtles did that, and they
yeah,
had
I know.
little changes.
And the Crow did that as well.
Hmm.
And that is like I own like the third print, and it still looks fucking amazing because it's the same cover. So,
Yeah.
like awesome stuff. You got any other cool alien stuff you like to
Well, not alien per
just
se, but
extraterrestrials
yeah.
in general?
This is a little meteorite that I got recently, and I think it's so cool to hold that in your hand.
Nice,
Yeah, it says it's from the Campo del Cielo field of the sky. It crash landed in Argentina, uh,
nice.
and it says it's oh geez, where is it? 5,000 years old. So, and it's just cool to hold that and think even if it's a placebo effect and it's fake,
Yeah,
just the thought it's wow, this thing traveled through space, and now it's in my bedroom or whatever, my little man cave. But there's a lot of things like that. You can buy, I guess, the moon. There's lunar rocks that are on Earth and stuff uh, that you can find um, and you could have a piece of the moon. You could, I guess, there's Mars rocks too that enter the Earth's atmosphere. So
I think that's really cool. Like, um, just because we get meteors like pretty much every day, like
yeah, yeah,
you know they're not all huge world-ending things, but I think it's kind of cool that, because I had no idea, like where the hell was this thing? Where did this piece of rock chip off from? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's just cool to think that it's not from Earth.
Yeah,
It literally was traveling through space, across planets, near stars, and then it ends up, right here. I mean, to me, like, it blows my mind. Like, I don't know. I love it. I love the thought of it. I love holding it in my hand, and literally, like, it could be fake, but just the thought of it is enough for me.
Nice.
Which I
Very
don't
cool
think
stuff.
it's fake.
He's like,
I don't
just for the record,
That's not
it's not fake, y'all. It's real shit. Real moon rocks, man.
Yeah.
I forgot anything. Oh, might as well show off the
Yeah, I'll show my Mark Nelson too. You show yours, and then I'll get mine.
yeah, because
Your Mark
definitely
Nelson
yours
is in there,
better.
right?
Yeah. So this is when we went to um, Monroe. I think it was Monroe Pop Fest, and I believe this was, yeah, I think it was last year. So we got to meet Mark Nelson, who is the artist of the original Aliens comic book, and he did a little quick sketch for me on the inside, and it looks freaking amazing. And this is where I learned that um, I would only use background or those black blank variants for like specific artists, because one thing he was telling me is that uh, the way artists, and I didn't never thought about this, like the way artists' minds work is that when they're drawing something on black paper, they have to think like in reverse. They have to like switch it up because of the shadowing, right? The shadows are now white. So I never really thought about that. Like, wow, that's that. So that makes sense why some artists rather not do anything on black. And but there's some artists that really love it and really excel at it. Probably like the one guy I think about is Clayton Crane. Like I think he's one guy that just like kills it on black background. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I agree. I seen Clayton Crane do a Venom on a black blank, and he made the whole black, pretty much the body. So like he did this weird thing, like doing a silhouette around the head, but he made it look like he was like coming out of the blank. So yeah, different guys do it different ways. I feel like, I don't know. I buy red blanks, for Carnage. So I still like the colored, but it can go either way. Like, but anyways, here's my Mark Nelson. Uh, Man, that is crazy.
that looks a freaking amazing, dude. Hold on, let me blow that shit up
I
because
know.
that looks freaking awesome, man.
I tipped him. Remember, $20 extra.
Yeah, because
When
he went, he went over it on that one, dude.
Yeah, because I paid $50 for this, and then he just kept drawing and drawing and drawing, and I was like, holy hell! Like he's doing more than like he had done even like for yours and some of the other guys. I was like, well, now I feel bad, so I'll give him an extra
And
$20. But
and you
yeah,
can tell here that he does work on like you can see the whites
yeah,
and the blacks. He does use the white background as like a kind of like a light, like a
yeah,
reflective light or
yeah,
whatever.
yes. So like, yeah, he was able to do the shadows like like exactly like what you were saying. So I don't know. It came out so killer though.
I know that thing's freaking amazing, dude. Freaking amazing stuff. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it's literally one of my favorite sketches in that sketchbook, and I love it.
And so yeah, Mark Nelson, like one of the probably top aliens. If you're an alien collector, that's kind of like a must-have, like a piece or a signature by him as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
let's see. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else. Unless you got anything else?
I mean, not really. Like the only I don't think I have like any other alien sketches in here besides like I have this one, this Kilowog, um, which
Oh,
is
that's an
that
alien right there, bro.
yeah that's more goofy and stuff. But like I don't know, like the whole thing with the aliens. You can take me off this. We go side by side, but like it's fun to think about. It's entertaining, like to think about. Like uh, and it's no fun to be so closed-minded that you think this is it, and it's no fun either.
Oh,
Like,
I got an alien. So I love Dead Space. That's like one of my favorite alien things. So I really love it. I love sci-fi horror, but I also like occult horror. Those are like my two favorite ones.
yeah,
So I love it when they both meet, like Event Horizon and Dead Space, when we're like the occult religion stuff crosses over with the alien stuff. So I just wanted to show the statue right here. I did an unboxing for this, but this is basically that two-headed freak, and it's killing that dude. This dude is like stranded on a prison on, I think, one of the Saturn's moons or something.
yeah. Like
And
with every game like that I play, like I'm 75% done with it. This
yeah,
is an awesome game though. It's literally like Dead Space 4 to me.
and I loved it. I know there was a lot of complaints about it, but mostly it came from people who play on PC because of the port. Um, Other than that, like I played on PS5, it was really smooth on PS5. And I think they're just coming out with another story DLC. So I finished it
Oh,
and then I
nice.
got like halfway through it on like hard mode. So I'm gonna have to jump back on and try to finish it off. But very cool stuff just because I love Dead Space so much. Like that's one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, I feel like that game was like um, a test to see if they could bring Dead Space back because they did that game and then they did a Dead Space remake.
Yeah,
And I think they're just like testing the waters. Like, is everybody still into it?
hell
Which,
yeah, we are.
yeah, I think everybody was pretty pumped. Oh, what's the guy's name? Isaac Clarke, right?
Isaac Clarke, the engineer.
Yeah, man, I love that game. And that game right there, Callisto Protocol. It literally the suit was the same. The way that they did the life bar on the back, that was
Yeah.
killer. I loved it.
And it was basically like the same guy that, did
Yeah, it was the same
Dead
guy.
Space.
It was
So,
the exact same guy.
and what I love too is that it's a horror game, so they make you feel underpowered. Like a lot of guys, like you're not like some kind of special forces,
Yeah,
Navy SEAL guy. Like I think Isaac was like an engineer, and then this guy was like a truck driver
yeah,
or plumber or some shit. I don't know, but they put you at a disadvantage,
yeah,
and I think that's what really makes. I think that's what like one of the scariest things that I can think of horror is like being trapped on a spaceship with something that's trying to kill you. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like
I mean,
there's
yeah, literally, like it literally goes from nightmare scenario with aliens
yeah,
to the complete opposite, to like more of like a interstellar where they're trying to help you, you know.
yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
imagine like if I would imagine like that they would be so powerful and that they know that they can do whatever they want, that it would lean more towards like a helping, like I don't think they would care to destroy us unless we were in their way.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like I feel like, I mean, we like to think that more advanced civilizations have probably overcome their tendencies for war and stuff like that and conquering, but
Well,
we could
and
be wrong, man.
well, I would just think like if they're so much smarter than us, like it would be equivalent to us and monkeys. Like we're not going there to conquer a monkey tribe. But if they're in our way and we're like building a road, that's where it gets, heads collide, I guess. So I think like if we're not in their way, then it's all studying and just looking and like nothing else. But who knows?
All right. So, yeah, man, I am going to. We got about 4 minutes. We're gonna do a giveaway for anybody that stopped by in the chat. So if you're creeping on it right now, if you want to jump on this, go ahead, drop something down below, and we can get you on the wheel. The giveaway that I'll be giving out this is going to be this library edition of Aliens Defiance. I actually
Yeah, that's
really like
cool,
this
man.
story. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And I really love the art in here. It's a great story written by Brian Wood, multiple artists on there, and really cool original story. So we're gonna be giving this away. Let's see. I have
Unruly.
Unruly. Hold on. Let's see. Unruly. Hold on. Let me present this. Alrighty. Can you see that on your side?
It's loading right now, but yeah. Oh yeah, I see it.
Okay. Alrighty. So I have Unruly, and I also have
Kavi.
Kavi.
Uh,
I know he's
uh,
like saying I was like saying his name in like with a Spanish accent. Kavi.
uh,
My bad, bro. No disrespect, Kavi. Um, then we got Comic Cap
and the Comic
and
Cat.
Kenneth Bird.
Comic
Do I have anybody else? That might be it.
I think that's it.
All right. So thank you guys for stopping by and even listening to a little bit of our UFO cookiness. I know there's a Friday night, there's a lot of other shows, but you guys chose to spend a little bit of time with us. Shout out to everyone that's checking in on the rewind. Thank you. Drop down a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Um, and let's spin the shit out of this bitch. Let's see.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you already send his stuff?
No. No, I just got his address yesterday. And so this is make it cool, man, because just do it
Yeah,
one
one
way.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Unruly, I got your address. I got you all set up. You ain't even got to worry about it, man. I got you. We are gonna take care of that. With that, we're gonna be getting out of here. There's gonna be no. We're not gonna be doing an Iceberg Lounge next week or anything because I won't be available. I'll be on vacation. I usually try to do a comic book review on Wednesdays. I probably won't be doing that either, but I will upload a video of like a coffee review and something like that. It's gonna be kind of a comedy sketch. You guys watch it. Let me know what I think about it. What you guys think about it. Follow me on Instagram. Follow Steve on Mr. Steve H. Got a Killer Carnage collection. And you got anything going on, brother?
Next Friday, I'll be at Denver Comic Con, so I'm excited for that. Jay Lee is gonna have my full commission ready, so I'm pretty.
Yeah, I saw that in the group chat. Like,
yeah.
2 years, baby.
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty sure.
Pretty excited for that. I'm gonna get that framed up as soon as I get that. So that'd be awesome.
That's gonna look great, man. It's gonna look freaking killer.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys, thank you guys again. You guys have an excellent night, man. And watch out for them aliens, man. Don't get probed, y'all. Cause it's getting crazy. Or I don't know. Some people might want that.
Yeah.
Or get probed, bro. It's like
let's
we're
do
not
it.
judging here, bro. We're not here to get judged.
Won't obey. You cannot tell